Here's some more pieces of it, and some pieces over there.
You want to know how it works, Lizzie?
Sure. Wait, hold on, I gotta turn.
Air goes in here.
Yeah.
And then magic happens.
Yeah.
And then global warming comes out over here.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Oh. Okay. What we're looking at here is the engine bay on my fiance's 2001 Toyota Corolla. About a month ago, she was on her drive to work and had, by my understanding, a fairly sudden reduction of power to the point that she couldn't maintain speed going up hills, not much power to accelerate, that sort of thing. She also had misfire and rough idle, especially if you're in drive at a stop, but no engine light, at least not right away. She brought the car home, we did some diagnosis on it, and found the spark plugs were in pretty bad shape all around, but definitely worst on cylinder 3. We did a compression test and found cylinders 1, 2, and 4 had pretty decent compression, but cylinder 3 had really low compression, about 10 to 20 psi actually. At that point we tried using an engine restore additive. It gave a slight improvement on the other cylinders, but didn't really do much for cylinder 3. At this point, I think we've eliminated piston rings as a possible fault. I did a wet compression test by putting a few tablespoons of oil in cylinder 3. That didn't really seem to make any significant difference. So I think there's a few possibilities left for what the fault could be. Bad intake valve, bad exhaust valve, cracked cylinder head, or bad head gasket. Based on the fact that it came on suddenly, I'm really suspecting like maybe a bad head gasket. Probably exhaust valve actually, I don't know. I'm going to do a little work on this, see if I can get a better diagnosis on what the problem is. I'm going to start with trying a leak down test, see if that tells me anything. I can't really see getting too deep into this, but maybe I can get lucky and it'll be just like a stuck valve or something fixable without having to get too deep into the engine. So let's get started. Okay, so I think I figured out the problem. Here's what I've done. Like I said before, already did a compression test and knew that this was the bad cylinder. I took the valve cover off and kind of turned the engine over, looked at the operation of the valves, at least from what you can see from here, just to see if there's anything that appeared odd going on. There really wasn't from that. And then the next thing I did was hooked up air from the air compressor to cylinder 3. Pretty sure it's 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 or 3. And I let the air into the cylinder and basically listened to where the air might be coming out. I listened to the intake. Didn't really hear much of anything, just listening over the engine. You know, it's not really closed up anymore, so the crankcase isn't sealed at this point, so I can't tell for sure if air is coming past the rings. There's a little bit of hissing here, but I don't know where that's coming from. But then I did the same thing. I let the air in and checked the exhaust pipe, and lots of air coming out. So I really think it's probably a bad exhaust valve. And once I had done that, I did it again on another cylinder just to basically try and make sure I was doing it right, just see what happened. And so I did it on this cylinder, and that held pressure a lot better. I did get a little bit of leakage, but I think it was just, I didn't really thread the connector from the air compressor to the cylinder in very tight because I was worried I might not be able to get it out, and I think it was just leaking around there, and it's a pretty slow leak. Nothing coming out of the intake, nothing coming out of the exhaust. So I'm pretty sure I did it right. Almost positive exhaust valves on this cylinder are bad. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything more about it. Just think about it, and I'll let you know what I end up doing. Here we are, next day, and against my better judgment, I decided I'm going to go ahead and pull the cylinder head and take a look at the underside. I'm sure that I've got lots of headaches in store for me doing that, but let's just get on with it, I guess. Did a bunch of work on this last night. I think I am pretty close to getting the cylinder head off of here. Got the intake manifold off. It's right here. Exhaust manifold is pulled away. Wiring's gone. Radiator hose is still connected, but I couldn't seem to pull that off, so it's just going to have to come off later. Heater hose is still connected. Same thing with that, but I think once I get the head off, that I can just pull or cut that off or whatever I have to do. You know, the manual says that you have to take the timing chain cover off to get the head off, but it's doing some reading on some forums and stuff. It sounds like people have been able to get the head off without taking this off, so that's what I'm going to try and do, because I absolutely don't want to do all that work. Yeah, as predicted, I did run into a few headaches. Main frustrating one is this stupid heat shield on the exhaust manifold. Some under ambitious grease monkey put the wrong size bolts in there, and they're basically probably not ever coming out. I don't know, there's one bolt that won't come out. I got the rest of them out. Really frustrating. That was probably about half the time is getting that stupid thing out of the way, which it actually isn't. I just had to bend it. Anyways, so I think what I need to do next is take the cam sprockets off, take the camshafts off. There's a couple bolts that come through the timing chain cover into the head over here I need to get off. There's one that's kind of in there. That's probably going to be the hardest, and hopefully I don't drop it down, or else I will be taking everything apart. And then the head should come off. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, let's see where we're at. I believe I have nearly everything disconnected from the head in order to take it off, except for two studs. You probably can't see in the camera, but one here, one over here. I think that's the only thing left holding the head on. I can actually lift up this end of it a little bit. Kind of got delayed here because these two studs, you need a star socket to get them out. I couldn't find one locally. I did find a spline socket and tried that, put them on there, and it felt like it was going to strip, so I didn't do it because I knew I'd never get them out then, and I'd have to probably take the whole timing chain cover off, which I'm really trying to avoid. Got the new sockets now, right there, and hopefully this head's going to be off of here real quick at this point. Alright, here we go. for sure 100% what's wrong with the engine. So the cylinders in here actually look really good. You can still see the honing on them. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of coolant in the bottom of there. I better dry that up before they rust. But yeah, those two cylinders at least look really good. I'll have to turn the engine to look at the other two. This is the head, and take a look at the bottom here. And right there, that's the bad valve. So probably take it to a machine shop and get it fixed there, see if they can just fix that one. I don't see any reason to mess with the other ones. Or maybe both the exhaust valves on that cylinder or something. And that's about it. That's the teardown. Hopefully I can figure out how to put it back together. Thanks for watching.